Jake Linton finds new digs and new friends to heal old wounds.
Still working on that pipe?
I think he was doing some couch surfing, and then, what do you know, his dear friend from the bar says,
I got an extra room.
Sometimes a stranger's smile can lift your spirits, and more.
Kiss me.
she was getting a lot of bang for her buck in the proverbial sense. That was the tipping point where things started to go bad.
Make yourself at home.
Thanks.
There was so many people, from under my understanding, in and out of the house.
The hell, man? Don't push me, man!
It was just like conflict all the time.
Conflicts that lead to a brutal ending.
It seemed unlikely that this was a random act of violence.
When death comes knocking, no one is safe. Shoreline, Washington is generally a peaceful place.
It's a suburb of Seattle, right outside of Seattle in the North End.
It was determined to be one of the best neighborhoods to live in the Seattle area. So not a lot of crime, not a lot of homelessness, not a lot of noise in the middle of the night.
Until sirens break the silence of a serene Sunday evening.
911, what are you reporting? Oh my God, there's someone just broke in my house, and it's the guy that's downstairs. Can you please come? He's bleeding out or he's dead.
It's a woman who's frantic on the telephone reporting that someone was in her home, had assaulted her roommate.
I don't know, there's blood everywhere. Please help me.
And ran out the door.
Please just send someone, please.
And so fire and medics and police and everyone starts responding.
My roommate is in the basement.
There they find 36-year-old homeowner Jenny Martinez.
She was emotional. She was crying, verging on hysterical, very, very emotional.
I don't know what happened.
She said she had no idea what happened. She was asleep. She didn't see anyone in the home. She saw a door open and didn't see the person.
She instructed him to go to the basement. They saw the victim lying on the couch, covered in blood. Wrapped in a blanket on the sofa, he was bleeding profusely from his head.
Apparently not breathing, blunt force trauma to the head, blood everywhere.
Jenny's roommate is rushed to a Seattle hospital on the brink of death.
He was not breathing. There was obvious huge issues with his head. Swelling had already started.
As the man's life hangs in the balance, the hunt for his attacker begins.
At that point in time, they still didn't know the identity of the assailant.
Police begin their investigation, determined to find out who could commit such a brutal act. 3 people lived in that house, including Stephen Pollock, Jenny Martinez, and Jacob Linton. Which begs the question, was it really an intruder, or was this an inside job? Back in the spring of 2008, 29-year-old Jacob Linton wasn't even living in the Shoreline house.
Yeah, baby.
He's just getting settled in Seattle with his fiancée, Melinda Harris. After a lifetime of bouncing back and forth between Texas, where his father lives,
It's good to be back.
and the Pacific Northwest, where his mother lives,
Want to join me for a run?
Jake is ready to grow up and settle down.
I don't know, I kind of missed you. I had something else in mind, you know?
Really?
Yeah, really.
Melinda and Jake were together for 7 years, and they had a lot of ups and downs. So they decided to move to Seattle. They started going to gyms, working out, they were running, they were just healthy.
What time is it? Oh, shoot, I'm late for work. That's my brother.
Jake works in construction with 2 of his brothers.
I'll call you later, babe.
And despite a tough economy, is doing okay.
My brother was a framer. I worshiped him. If I needed help, he would always come and help me, or if he needed help, I could go help him. He was a lovable, outgoing person.
I hope you brought something grubby. I raided your closet. This is the nicest shirt I could find.
Everybody liked him. He was just a good-to-go person.
Jake is good-looking and charismatic.
Jake was very particular about his appearance. Everything was ironed. I've seen him iron a hoodie. He liked his jewelry.
He's a very nice looking man, young man, very conceited.
His charm makes it easy for him to make new friends.
Boo! What's going on, man? Guess we'll be working together. I'm Jake.
Hey, Steve.
Nice to meet you, bro.
Hey.
That's my brother, Scotty.
Including Steve Pollock, a 21-year-old California native he meets on a job site.
He was doing the same thing my brother was doing. He was framing houses and stuff, framing, sheetrock, a little bit of everything.
Still working on that pipe?
Just finished.
Looking good. Hey, we're gonna go grab a beer. You wanna come?
Sure. Yeah.
Steve is rooming with some college students while he tries to launch his career in construction.
I thought he was a really cool guy. I was like, ooh, this guy seems like somebody I could get along with, hang out with all the time. In a way, they were both the same person, but just two different bodies.
Jake and Steve become fast friends.
They both liked the same stuff and did the same stuff.
Including drinking at the local bar without Jake's longtime girlfriend, Melinda.
Come on, man.
They talked constantly, always talking crap to each other, and like all guys do. Just joking around, messing around, horsing around, I guess you'd put it. Oh, I'm gonna kick your butt. Oh, no, you're not. I'm gonna kick your butt. And it just keep going for hours.
See what you got, little buddy.
My understanding was that Stephen looked up to Jacob quite a bit,
What's going on, man?
wanted nothing more than to spend time with Jacob and revered him on some level.
It's my girlfriend. She's really pissed.
They joked around, they laughed, they played.
Y'all see you soon. Already whooping your butt, little man.
Jake was a leader, not a follower.
Okay, well, we'll see. I'll just get us some more drinks.
Nah, I got you, man.
He always was smiling and joking and making other people laugh and just good-hearted.
They were best friends. I know that Jacob had taken him under his wing.
And at the local bar, their circle of friends grows ever larger.
I know they were pretty much considered regulars. It's kind of like a Cheers type bar, and they were the Norman Cliff of that bar.
Yo, what's up?
That's where they meet Jenny Martinez.
Feeling, little lady?
Great, how are you?
She would hang out there, and they met there.
Jenny is an attractive 30-something
Fancy a game of pool, guys?
Three's the crowd, Jenny.
with an equally cute younger sister.
I meant doubles. My sister Amber.
What's up, Amber? I'm Jake.
Steve,
She's on my team.
maybe we should mix it up. Why don't I be with Amber?
I'll break.
All right.
Amber meets Stephen through Jenny, and they ultimately began dating.
Meanwhile, Steve and Jake have grown so close that Jake's mom, Julie, often invites him over.
She really said that, though? I can't make that stuff up, man.
Nice young man. Nice young-looking man.
Hey, Jake, where's Melinda?
I don't know, Ma. She should be here by now.
We all like to play cards. We played poker a lot, and he would sit down and play.
I considered him kind of like a brother in a way.
That's probably her. Could you get it?
Everybody seemed to get along with him fine.
Everyone, that is, except for Melinda.
Oh, I didn't know Steve would be here.
Hey, Melinda.
And that's when things start to get complicated.
Melinda had said that she actually hated Stephen Pollock.
Do whatever you want. I'm going home.
She kept him under control until Stephen came along, and I don't know what happened.
Come on, man.
30-year-old Jake Linton's fallen in with a new crowd.
Already whooping your butt, little man.
Steve Pollock and Jenny Martinez. But his fiancée, Melinda, doesn't like it.
Oh, I didn't know Steve would be here.
Hey, Melinda.
You could see that she was getting more agitated. She just like gave him like a dirty look, like, ugh, why?
Oh, 1 second. Hey, guys.
Jake would always want to go do something and she wouldn't.
You guys want to stick around for a nightcap?
When Jake became friends with Stephen, there was a lot more partying going on. Melinda felt very left out, I think. Was used to having Jake to herself, and for some reason, Jake took to Stephen more.
Not as young. Come on, on, baby, just one drink.
You know what? Do whatever you want. I'm going home.
I could see it quite a few times that she was irritated.
Still love you, baby.
Like, come on, Jake, let's just go do our thing. And he'd be like, no, I'm gonna go do this with Steven, and I'll come back and we'll do something. And then it'd be like 4 or 5 hours later, and she would get really mad, PO'd.
You still up, baby?
I think that Melinda believed that Steve was a bad influence on Jake.
She was totally not supportive of the lifestyle changes he was making, of him going to the bars, of him drinking and being out at all hours.
Finally, enough's enough.
Why you gotta be like that?
Jake, you're always with Steve. I really hate that guy.
He's my friend. We have fun together. What's the problem?
It was a bombshell. She just dumped him.
I'm done. Tomorrow you're leaving.
After 7 years together, Melinda breaks off their engagement, at least until Jake turns his life around.
I knew she broke up with him because she wanted him to quit drinking, and he wouldn't. He, I guess, basically wasn't ready.
Melinda wanted a life change. I think she felt like she just wasn't getting it, especially with Steven in the picture.
He was pretty devastated because, I mean, he wanted to have kids with her and get married to her. And, I mean, she loved my family loved her. And so he was pretty devastated when it happened.
Broken-hearted, Jake couch surfs with friends.
Jack, straight up.
Where are you going?
You know.
No way. It happened.
Yeah.
You got kicked out.
Something like that.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
No, I got it. Put on my tab, please.
Until Jenny offers a much more comfortable landing pad.
I got an extra room.
You for real?
I think he was looking for something slightly more permanent, and then, what do you know, his dear friend from the bar says, it just so happens I might have room for you.
And next thing I know, he moves in with Jenny.
Jenny's a single mom with a teenage daughter named Samantha and a school-age son, Kyle. But there's plenty of room.
The 16-year-old did a lot of what she wanted and stayed at her boyfriend's house a lot. And I believe that the 8-year-old spent a lot of time with his dad. It was average home in need of repair.
This is it. What do you think?
It's perfect.
She had decent furniture, but the house itself was
You can put stuff there, there.
in need of an update.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
I think she saw an opportunity.
I really like your place.
She was smart enough to realize that he had some skills and might be able to help her around her home.
Just needs a lot of fixing up, you know? Like that.
They strike a deal.
I could help you with that.
Jake can live there rent-free in exchange for his services.
You can help around the house and stuff?
I can do a lot of things.
I like that.
It works out well. As construction work slows down for winter, Jake's in a tight spot financially.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, let me help you with that.
Oh, thank you.
You got it. Hey, you got a lot of stuff.
This is looking great.
Thanks for the groceries.
Oh, please, come on.
My brother tried to give her some money a couple times, but she wouldn't take it because she knew he was kind of doing bad.
I don't need charity.
Yeah, but you do need my tacos. And it's not just for you. Steve might come over, and Amber's coming over later, so don't worry about it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Jake isn't the only one in their circle of friends who could use a boost.
I'd like to make a toast to our new roommate.
Construction slowed, and it was my understanding that Steve had a really hard time getting work and was scrapping to pay bills and make ends meet.
Thanks for letting me live here, Jenny.
My pleasure. It's a win-win. You help me, I help you.
Sounds good.
It's gonna be fun, man.
She used the same program that she had used with Jacob. At that point in time, we have both Jake and Steve and Jenny and her 2 kids, and oftentimes the daughter's boyfriend staying over at the house. So it is a full house.
A full house and not enough rooms to go around.
You have your choice of beds. My kids are not home often, so let's just say you won't be spending every night on the sofa.
Cool.
Make yourself at home.
When we asked Jenny about where everybody slept, she really couldn't come up with where everybody was.
It didn't seem to be a very organized household program.
I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, it's time. Definitely time.
He's done.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do, bro.
What do you want to do?
I don't know.
I know what I want to do.
Is that right?
Somewhere in this game of musical bedrooms,
Kiss me.
Jake and Jenny end up spending the night together. In the morning, they declare it a mistake.
She claimed it was a, one-time thing and they were drunk.
Ooh. This is awkward.
Awkward? What do you mean awkward?
You know what I mean.
I'm playing.
She would say that they had a one-time sexual relationship, that it was an accident.
What a night, though.
That was good, right?
Yeah, that was, yeah. You know I'm trying to fix things with David, right?
Oh, yeah, I got you. I get it.
Okay.
You got David, I got Melinda.
Right, okay.
I do think that Jenny wants to get back together with her ex-husband.
Friends.
Friends.
It was my understanding that Jenny and Jake maintained a friendship after they had their one-night event.
But the dynamic in the house has changed.
Hey, guys. What's up, man? How's it going?
Good, bro. How are you? Sleep well?
Yeah?
Oh, hey, guys, I forgot to tell you, but David's coming to drop off Kyle in a few minutes. Do you mind just waiting in the basement for a little bit for me?
For real?
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna look good if you guys are here, so won't be for too long, okay?
Sure.
Thanks.
Jenny, for some reason, she hid the fact that my brother was living there, just so there wouldn't be any problems. The only thing I can think is maybe it's a jealousy issue.
Jenny, she more than once said, oh, I don't want him to know that Jacob and Stephen are living here. I want to be back with him.
I would imagine there was either spousal support or child support involved. They never went through the courts with their breakup, and he was probably just giving her a certain amount of cash each month. And if her spouse knew that she had roommates and potentially money coming into the house, he might give her less money.
So what did you do?
Tell her.
Yeah,
we
we
did
went-
this trampoline.
Huh?
We went horseback riding.
I know,
We
huh?
laser
You took him?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, who's that?
It's nothing.
It might be Mom's roommate.
You're funny. Hey, you know, you have to go get ready, because we're going somewhere really cool right now. Hey? Let's go.
David suspects Jenny is hiding something, or someone.
Who's your roommate?
The TV's on downstairs. You know what? I think he misses a man around the house. That's what.
I would imagine that the 8-year-old son would tell him who's always in the house.
And this crowded house will soon turn lethal.
She was getting a lot of bang for her buck in the proverbial sense.
Hanging out with Jenny ultimately took him down this fatal road.
Wake up, man. You gotta clean up. Come on.
To our new roommate.
Jenny Martinez offers Jake Linton and Steve Pollock a place to live rent-free
Cool. Make yourself at home.
in exchange for some renovation help.
Jenny was able to get both men to do far more in terms of the work that they were doing on the house than might have been equatable to the rent they would have paid.
I got it from here.
All right.
So she was getting a lot of bang for her buck in the proverbial sense.
What's up, man? Hey, guys.
Steve's been dating Jenny's sister, Amber, but that relationship ends abruptly.
What's wrong, dude?
Amber's pregnant. Congratulations, brother. I told you had it. It's not mine.
Amber breaks up with Steve because Amber's boyfriend is released from prison. And Amber is pregnant now with her ex-boyfriend's baby.
Oh, snap.
Jake tries to make light of the situation.
Man, I told you she had that bad boy fever, dog.
It's not funny, Jake.
Yo, you need to step up your game, choir boy.
I said that's not funny, Jake. You guys are jerk, man.
Yo, I'm just playing, Steve.
Jake was the joker.
I was playing, dog.
Jake was the fun guy. Jake was everybody's friend and buddy, and he had more fun making Steve be the brunt of the joke than really having that compassionate guy talk about, hey, buddy, things are gonna get better.
For Jake, things do get better. His ex-girlfriend Melinda, the source of his heartache, is back in the picture.
There's the most beautiful lady in the world.
I was totally shocked when I looked up and seen Jake, and then the next thing I know, I seen Melinda.
Oh, so glad to see you!
We were hugging, and I thought, oh my gosh, they're working. Maybe they're gonna get back together.
My mama. My ladies.
They stayed late that night, and I do know they stayed together that night.
But this new development with the old flame makes things a little awkward.
Jake, it's me again. Can you call me back?
After Jake slept with Jenny, it was never quite the same.
She got feelings for him quite badly. I guess because it'd be possessive with him.
You guys have a good night's sleep?
Yeah, Mom. You?
She would have to know where he was, what time he'd be done, when he'd have to be home, and just basically kind of little stuff like that.
Hey, where are you?
I'm busy. What do you want, Jenny?
Can you tell me when you're coming back at least?
Stop asking me that all the time. I'll get there when I get there.
He didn't like it whatsoever. He straight up was like, it doesn't matter when I'm gonna be done. I'll be home when I be home.
Jake would come to the house to see us, and he would constantly tell me, Mom, if Jenny calls, I am not here. You haven't seen me, you don't know where I'm at, I am not here. I don't even really know how she got my phone number personally, because Jake had a cell phone.
I would assume that she was probably wanting to get serious with my brother.
If Jenny sees Melinda as the competition, she's mistaken. After spending the night with him, Melinda rejects Jake for good.
I don't know what to do, Mom. I'm so messed up.
At a certain point, she was just done with him.
I know. I love you too. Bye.
He would call me, crying, very depressed, because he missed her so much.
Jenny! Steve? You guys home?
Jake turns to Jenny and Steve for comfort, but all of a sudden, they don't have time for him.
You guys all right?
Yeah.
They started spending more time together. She started talking to him more, paying more attention to him. It was almost like Jenny was playing housewife for this guy who was kind of crumbling to pieces, playing like she was his girlfriend.
Did y'all hear me upstairs?
No, man. A little busy, you know what I mean?
You want me to get you another one?
No, I'm good. Just stick around.
I don't think they were a couple, but she's doing a lot of things that you would do if you were dating someone. So Jake started getting excluded as she included Steve.
This love triangle was like the elephant in the room.
And as you can imagine, the dynamic between the three of them gets more strange as that occurs.
I truly believe that she just played both of them. So I think that she would turn it on and off for wherever she needed the alliance to shift.
The tension builds for weeks.
One night, Jenny suggested everyone get together, kids included, and go bowling.
Come on, let's go. The kids are waiting for us.
I'm straight. I'm gonna stay here and clean up.
And Jacob wanted nothing to do with it, didn't want to hang out with Steve, didn't want to do this weird pseudo-family thing she was suggesting.
Come on, don't be ridiculous.
I don't need charity like some people.
Whatever, man.
Suit yourself.
I think Jacob was kind of sulking, wanting Jenny to really beg him to come along, and she didn't. At the same time, I think he wanted to shame Steven into, I can't believe you're gonna go and let her pay for everything.
And so she went with Steve and the kids, and Jake didn't go.
It proves to be a fateful decision for everyone.
You're a pretty good shot.
Oh, thanks. You know, I'm glad Jake didn't come.
Why?
Yeah, you know, he's just using you.
You think?
Yeah, your house, your generosity. I mean, you are generous. With everything.
And you're pretty cute.
Thanks.
Come here.
Steve and Jenny were kissing at the bowling alley.
Jenny's sister, Steve's ex, Amber, shows up just then.
Steven is still in love with Amber, and they still hang out together quite a bit.
I don't think he had the foresight to see the dynamic was going to become more and more of a problem. There was jealousy, there was a love triangle, there was weirdness, there was tension in the household. None of it really makes a lot of logical sense to me.
Tensions are still high when the gang gets home that night.
Jacob stays home and is supposedly gonna clean up, but Jacob stays home and drinks.
Jenny is expecting to come home to a clean house. Instead, she finds broken glass, blood, and vomit.
Oh, are you kidding me? Jake!
Jacob had broken a wine glass and
Oh, he's wasted.
had cut himself.
Wake him up.
Dude, wake up, man. Dude, wake up!
What the hell, man?
Wake up, man. You gotta clean up. Come on.
Watch the glass.
I did hear that him and Steve got into an argument.
Dude, wake up. Come on.
Touch me, bro!
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Wow.
In the course of the fight, it turned into actual physical kind of altercation, and tempers really flared up, and yelling occurred, and voices were raised.
The hell, man?
Don't push me, man.
Okay, that's enough.
I'm out of here.
You think you're the man of the house?
Steve! What did you do?
To the point that finally, Steve says, I'm leaving the house, I'm out of here, I'm moving my stuff, and I'm leaving the state.
And the next morning, Jake has had enough too.
We didn't talk on the phone a lot, and he called me in Dallas and talked about moving to Texas. He seemed like he was ready to start something new and to leave.
I need to get out of this place. There's nothing for me here.
And we ended our conversation. He was going to go take a nap, and he was going to call me back later.
Say what's up to Billy for me, okay? Yeah, I'll hit you up later. Bye.
But neither man gets the opportunity to break free. Later that day, Jenny makes a desperate call for help.
I don't know, there's blood everywhere. Please help me.
There was a hole in his skull. The first responding deputies initially thought maybe he was a victim of a gunshot wound.
But the weapon is not a gun.
First responders found in short order a large wooden table leg, which they believed was the instrument used to inflict the harm.
An unlikely weapon for an intruder. No one knows what's going on.
Jenny had more versions of this story than I have suits in my closet.
I don't know if he's dead. Let's go. Help him.
Police arrive at the home of Jenny Martinez to find one of her two roommates bleeding in the basement.
His name is Jake. Jake Linton.
Jake is barely hanging on.
You can see literally a hole in his forehead.
He was put on life support, assisted breathing, the whole 9 yards, in a desperate attempt to save his life.
Jake's family is called in.
I got the phone call and I had no idea what happened. When you go in and you see your child laying there, you don't really think about how it happened or who did it. I don't know if it's because the damage was so bad to him. His face was black and blue. They'd stitched him up. He was on so many monitors. I mean, I knew it was him. But it wasn't my sweet Jake.
I instantly broke down in tears. I went out and I ended up punching a wall. I was angry, very upset, and hurt. And then I was trying to be strong for my mom, aunt, and my dad, and everybody that was there.
I was thinking I just talked to him hours ago. He's supposed to be coming down here. And then the next call I got was from my mother-in-law that the attack had happened.
As Jake receives visitors and the best possible care, Detective Bartlett sets out to piece together how this brutal attack happened. And the obvious place to start is with Jenny Martinez.
I had her in the back of my police car to interview her.
How much have you had to drink?
I just had an orange juice and vodka. This was hours ago.
She seemed very intoxicated to me. My entire police car smelled like stale alcohol. We gave her a breathalyzer test, and she still was a .03. It was significantly high for having had only one drink, unless I suppose that drink was 8 ounces of straight alcohol.
You want to tell me what happened?
But Jenny's sober enough to say it was a regular Sunday morning, despite the fight the night before.
Steve wasn't home. Kyle had gone with his dad, and my daughter had just left with her boyfriend. I made Jake and me a brunch. That's when I had a drink.
They had breakfast. No one else was in the home. She and Jacob had had one drink.
We were getting a little tired, so we decided to go downstairs and watch a movie.
It's your house, you decide.
At some point, we must have fallen asleep.
But the nap ends abruptly.
And then I heard a loud crashing sound. And Jake was lying there, covered in blood. I didn't see who did it.
Jenny said it was a stranger and that it was a break-in.
There were no clues on the scene as to who did it.
Police check to see if anything is missing. And indeed, Jake's gold jewelry is gone. But that's it.
In fact, Jenny had $300 cash in her purse that was sitting on the counter. She reported no loss. They're both sound asleep, reportedly on the couch, and an unknown assailant for no apparent reason walks in, doesn't ransack the house, hits Jacob in the head, leaving Jenny totally unharmed. It seemed unlikely that this was a random act of violence.
While police consider their options, Jenny goes to the hospital.
I met Jenny one time at the hospital.
You must be Jake's mom?
The morning after Jake was hit.
I'm Jenny. How is he?
Baby brain dead. I don't know.
Oh, he's probably lying there thinking about me right now.
The first things out of her mouth when she walked in the hospital was that she knew that he was just in there, laying there worried about her.
You! Get the hell away from my son!
I flat looked her in the face and I told Jenny that if Jake was thinking about anybody, it was his family and Melinda. And I never spoke to her again, and I would not let her see my son.
I was praying to God every day that he would pull through. I was always in there holding his hand, talking to him.
My brother, he was a strong person, and I was hoping and praying that he would pull out of it. But I think it was just too bad.
I stayed in his room, sitting in a chair, holding his hand, talking to him, and I could see that he was going, but slowly. When it finally stopped, I can remember the nurse reaching over and turning it off. And I laid there with him for a few hours.
8 days after the beating, Jacob Linton succumbs to his injuries. His attack is now considered a homicide, and police are anxious to speak with Jenny's ex, David.
Who's your roommate?
Certainly, he would be somebody that we would look at. He would have a motive because Jenny is living with these other two men. David came actually to the scene while we were processing it. And so certainly when he shows up, we have a strong interest in him.
What's going on?
He provides accounts of everywhere he was during the day, and the 8-year-old son is with him and also says that he was with his dad all day. So David is quickly eliminated.
But Jenny is not.
Well, everybody's a suspect until they're not. We wanted a very clear version of her events.
She too was brought back in.
I thought I already gave you my statement. I don't understand what I'm doing here.
Because her statements have been inconsistent. There's the story she told first responders.
I don't know what happened!
And Detective Bartlett.
She woke up to a noise. I never saw anybody. I just heard somebody hit somebody with something.
But that story doesn't match her 911 call.
When you listen to the 911 call, she reports that there's a stranger, he came, she saw him hit Jacob and run out the door.
And so it was at that point in time, detectives thought it might be in everyone's best interest to try to get to the bottom of it and do a polygraph.
Is your name Jenny Martinez?
Yes.
Are you friends with Jake Linton?
Yes.
Did you see who hit him?
No. No, I didn't.
Police know Jenny's lying about something. The question is, what?
Jenny had more versions of this story than I have suits in my closet.
But police have a more urgent concern. Jenny and Jacob's other roommate, Steve, is nowhere to be found.
They made efforts to try to reach him to be able to interview him, and he was at large.
So in trying to get more information to be able to find Stephen, then we went and tried to get a hold of Amber, Jenny's sister. And so while we were in these long interviews, Amber actually received a telephone call.
Aren't you gonna get that?
It's nothing.
And she didn't answer it. She finally admitted that it was Stephen calling.
Call him back.
Hey, it's Amber. Sorry, my ringer was off. Call me back.
Which turned out to be a very smart thing because within minutes he returned her phone call.
Will Stephen Pollock have the answers police are looking for? Jacob Linton is beaten to death while he's napping next to his roommate, Jenny Martinez. His other roommate, Steve Pollock, is missing. Until police convince Steve's ex-girlfriend, Jenny's sister Amber, to get him to call her.
One of the detectives was able to hear their conversation. And she basically kind of said, "What's going on? What are you doing? What happened?"
Look, I need to talk to you about what happened
What happened?
with Jake.
What do you mean?
Look, it was him or me. I had no choice.
Where are you?
I can't tell you. Am I on speaker? I gotta go.
Steve is in trouble, and police still can't find him.
You lied.
Then, faced with her polygraph results, Jenny admits to knowing it was Steve all along.
What happened was that Steve came home to borrow Jake's keys because my daughter had taken his. As he was looking for the keys, I guess he saw Jake and me sleeping in his room.
Steve goes to take a shower
few moments later, Jake and me went downstairs to watch a movie. And eventually fell asleep.
But not for long.
She woke up that Steve was standing and that he had this piece of a table leg in his hand.
And he dropped the table leg and he just ran out.
A warrant is issued for Stephen Pollock's arrest.
I'm sorry, but these are basically my two best friends. I love Jake, but I wanted to protect Steve. I didn't want him to get into trouble.
The very next day, he makes a surprising move.
Hello? There's a warrant out for my arrest.
He turns himself in.
My name is Stephen Pollock. I'd like to speak to my lawyer.
He's been hiding out in California.
I think he realized that it was going to catch up with him and that it was a matter of time.
But he doesn't confess to murder. He says he killed Jake in self-defense.
Look, I went into the basement to grab my keys.
Doing?
Relax, man. I'm just looking for my keys.
Man.
Just looking for my keys, man. Jake was there. He was pissed.
Don't touch my stuff, man.
Dude, relax. I'm just looking for my keys.
I'm tired of your crap, man.
He just lunged at me. I mean, he's much bigger than me, so I found the first thing I could grab and I hit him.
What are you doing, bro?
Once. And then I just left. I was scared. That's what happened.
As Steve indicated in his phone call to his ex-girlfriend, it was either him or me. He started coming at me.
Police and prosecutors find it suspicious that Steve happened to find a table leg so readily.
The whole table leg was odd, just in and of itself. It just didn't make sense.
It also strikes them as unlikely Jake would just wake up and attack.
Jake didn't have any defensive wounds on his hands. Jake would not have let someone hit him and not fought back unless he was asleep and he didn't know it was coming.
Steven's a small
I'm
guy.
looking for my keys, man.
Literally, Jacob could have picked him up and thrown him across the room. And we had blood spatter on the sofa. So there's no doubt in my mind that he was fully aware of what he did. He also had the opportunity to use the other end of this stick. The table leg had a really large screw, and that is what penetrated Jacob's brain. There's no way that Stephen did not know the damage that he caused.
Instead, they believe a different scenario likely played out.
Over time, Steve is getting more and more attention from Jenny. Yet, despite that, he's still jealous of Jacob, the bigger, better-looking, more social guy.
I think he just obsessed about it.
You need to step up your game, choir boy.
I said that's not funny, Jake.
It consumed him. I think Stephen believed that he and Jenny were going to be in a relationship together. He had been out with Jenny the night before. They had been kissing.
When he comes home to find Jenny and Jake quietly napping together, he loses it.
They're downstairs, they're together, the TV's on, and I think he just became enraged.
The big difference in the defense's account versus the prosecution is whether Jake was asleep or whether he lunged at Steve.
It was unclear whether or not he had started to get up and there was a confrontation, or in fact, he was lying on his back and the attack was unprovoked.
Problem is, the crime scene was compromised.
The focus was getting him out, getting him to Harborview, getting this person with blunt trauma to the brain saved, if at all possible.
They have to do whatever that takes. He was reportedly wrapped in a blanket, which they took off of him.
Different people remember the location of the blanket differently.
Without the benefit of knowing the blanket's placement, the prosecution is at a loss.
The whole concept for Stephen's defense was that he was small and that this would be David versus Goliath.
There's one more problem. The only witness is unreliable.
Is your name Jenny Martinez?
Our star witness, Jenny, she has lied throughout the entire investigation to the point that her testimony would become uncredible.
No, I didn't.
To this day, my gut instinct tells me it was a fit of rage. But could I prove that to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt? No. I mean, that's why we had to resolve the case.
Prosecutors reduced Stephen Pollock's charges from murder to manslaughter, and he pleads guilty. His sentence, 7 years.
I do think that he should have got longer than 7 years. Definitely. You took somebody's life. I hope he regrets it for the rest of his life, which I'm sure he will.
That regret is nothing compared to the loss of Jake himself.
It hurt very, very bad. It still does to this day. I miss him to death. He was a lovable brother. I mean, he'd do anything for you. If he had it, he would give it to you. No matter if he didn't have it no more or not, he would give it to you.
He's missed a lot. I mean, there's not a day that goes by I don't think about him.
It's like a part of you goes. It's like a part of your heart's gone.